Oh no, they do open. Excuse me. They do open. She pushes the whole thing open. Bada boom, bada bing. Get those boxes out of my face. What's going on, all you lovely people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mike O'Hora, and this is a lovely penguin. And welcome, guys. Welcome to the set breakdown for Twice's brand new video, Celebrate. This video is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So we are going to be breaking it down, and I will be telling you guys what I know, being in the art department as an art director, set dresser, and a carpenter at points. Sometimes I was an art PA too, but you know, we don't like to talk about those days. Alright, so before we get to the video though, please go ahead and sub to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of this info that you're probably missing out on most of the time anyway. And yeah, guys, we will get right on into this. Let's hit it. All right, first shot of the video, we have all the gals. They are chilling in this really, really sick room that they got going on here. And I will say this, there's a few little bits of this that are kind of crazy, right? So for the most part, it's going to be just a regular box of a room, right? They made the ceiling, and then they got the 3 walls, 1 in the back, 2 on the sides. Obviously, there's nothing there in the front because that's where the camera is. And it looks like for the most part, they painted most of this, right? They got these flat bits here where they got the black, they got like the bronze look, and then they also got this speckled white paint here as well. And it looks like they just painted onto whatever the walls that they made, probably out of wood here. And then there is a lip, right? So that means that they added in another piece of wood here. Most likely it's wood, I would imagine. I mean, if I was building this, I would use another sheet of wood. And then you just kind of paint that to the color that you want it to be. And then it looks like they also cut out, most likely with a jigsaw, or some people call it a skill saw, and they cut out that kind of weird little wobbly amoeba-like shape where they can see through to the next room, where they got the big hashtag there. So it looks like it's kind of like almost appearing through the wall there. But yeah, for the most part, the only raised bit is the white here. It looks like they probably have some sort of white plastic up here on the top where they're shining lights through. So it'll be nice and bright, as well as they'll have lights behind the camera here too, kind of pointing inwards to the room, lighting it up. And then they just added in these pink carpets too. Ooh, hold up a second. Sorry, now that I'm seeing these carpets here, these also might be carpet attached to boards as well. Instead of painting it, it looks like there might actually be texture on there. It's a little hard to see. We'll see if there's a close-up of it a little bit later in the video, but that also could be what they did rather than painting it. It's just coat it in carpet, and then you just secure it, nail it to the wall, bada boom, bada bang. Okay, so right here we got a very interesting shot where they're inside of a box. There's a lot of CG work going on, special effects work going on here, which not inherently a bad thing. However, it does make for a very interesting build here, where knowing Twice, knowing the way that they've done things in the past in some of their other videos, I believe they're genuinely inside of a box here. Without the actual top being on there. That part, I believe, was edited in. However, I do believe those 4 walls are actually there, and they're actually up. And then I think the girls probably just give them a little nudge, and then they fall open, and they probably just speed up the walls falling, I guess, because they fall relatively quick. But you'll notice, too, the back wall goes down a little bit slower than the other 3 do. So I think that's what they did. For the most part, that's not going to be a very hard build that they are doing. Obviously, you can see that they are kneeling on a pad here because they don't want to mess up their knees, which is great. However, the walls are quite literally just that. They're walls. Most likely, they're probably around 6 feet tall, just to make sure to cover the girls up. I don't think any of them are necessarily that tall. I don't actually know what the heights are of any of them, but I believe none of them are over 6 feet tall. So the walls are most likely roughly 6 feet tall, and then they fall down. They look like they genuinely wrapped them in some sort of paper as well, some blue paper, and or it could be just a regular fabric with like a nice print on it. But yeah, and then a lot of the rest of it is just CGI'd. And then actually, if you notice, the background is that same room we were just talking about before. It's just like a kind of like a placeholder shot where it's blurred out a little bit too, but same room. So here we are. They got another one of these cool little rooms here. It's definitely got more of an orange theme to it. Obviously, they got the primary colors here are orange and blue. And yeah, for the most part, it's going to be a lot of set pieces where you would most likely rent a lot of this stuff. The carpeting and stuff that most likely had that kind of special ordered for the video, or they could have just found a carpet that is most likely right. But knowing that the way that they do K-pop music videos, it's most likely a special ordered carpet. And then boxes like this, genuinely, you can just go get cardboard boxes, tape them up, and then you just wrap them up in wrapping paper, and bada boom, bada bing, you got gifts ready and available to be on set. You just got to go out and buy the wrapping paper and the ribbons and such. I will say the thing that is most curious is this piece up here on the top here. It looks like an ottoman that they stuck to the ceiling. So I'm not 100% sure what that is or what the point of it is. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting piece. And then there's a lot of lighting going on here too, in case you're wondering why it looks certain ways. And that's going to fall more on the art or the lighting department for that one. So for this doorway too, we get to see them all panned out just a little bit here. This doorway is a really cool one. They do this a lot on Twice's videos where they have archways, doorways, whatever you want to call them, but they're always like some weird kind of crazy color. And the easiest way to do it is to simply just make a flat and then cut the shape out that you want. And then they would cut it twice in a row. And then it looks like what they have here would be either a light metal or a plastic piece that's graded. Looks definitely like it's got a bit of shine on it, so they either put on a metallic-y paint or it is just like a piece of metal, like a light metal. And yeah, it just kind of bends into place and you fit it there and secure it with screws and nails and whatnot. And then bada boom, bada bing, you got these really cool doorways, I guess, or archways. All right, this room that Momo's in, we paused on this like earlier in the video, I think. It is so colorful. Very much sticking to primary colors here, which is the aesthetic that they're going for. A lot of this stuff you're going to get at prop houses and such, like the lamps, the bulldog, even this table and stuff. You would really be surprised at how many things you can actually get at a prop house. And they usually have a whole bunch of weird stuff. So like you can get lamps that have very red staffs coming through them and whatnot. So a lot of this stuff is rentable. Even the books, rentable. Even like this table here definitely can be rented. The furniture as well, the couches you're sitting on, all that stuff you can rent. Yeah, it's just a matter of shopping around and finding the right pieces that will fit with the aesthetic that you're going for. So like I said, they're going for very bright primary colors here. Again, they have a bunch of boxes here as well, all wrapped up, different shoe boxes and whatnot, and then regular boxes that you just go get regular wrapping papers. Obviously, you don't get Christmas or or like holidays, birthdays, anything like that. You're just going to get regular wrapping paper with just regular colors. And there's different places you can go and get that stuff. Like you can get it at like Michael's or any sort of craft store as well. But either way, really makes for a great aesthetic. So this room right here is another very cool hallway that they got going on here. Again, they got all the hashtags or number signs or whatever you want to call them, pound signs if you're really old. But it's nice. They got the contrast of the white and the red. Easy little shelf units here with frosted glass and stuff too. And then they got this other red counter here. Again, I've talked about this in the past, but I'm pretty sure they just secured some hard foam in the front here and painted it red, so it gives it that sort of rocky look to it as well. And then for the rest of this stuff, it looks like they just took regular cardboard boxes that are relatively small and taped on some hearts. Most likely those are, you know, either cardboard or it could be small pieces of wood. I imagine just with the way that they were handling the hashtags here, they look like they're definitely wood because they're pretty firm. You don't really see any bend in them as they are holding them or moving them around. So most likely those are cut with wood and painted white as well. Sanded, of course. You want to make sure no one's going to get any splinters or anything like that. But yeah, you just do that with a skill saw, jigsaw, whatever you want to call it. Easiest way to make the hole in the center is to draw out your square first, and then you're going to punch a hole through there with a regular circle drill bit, big enough that when you put your jigsaw through, it can fit in the hole, and then you just cut the square accordingly from there. You know, as simple as that. It's something that a lot of people don't actually think about, but it's actually pretty easy to cut a hole, especially a square hole, into something like that. And then also the other little instruments and radios and stuff like that, they just painted white. Pretty sick. I also really love the shelving thing that they got going on back here as well. It's sick. It's very cool. I wonder exactly what they made it out of. Imagine it's probably a harder plastic, based on the way it looks. I think there's a closer shot to it, so we will talk about that a little bit later. Okay, well, I guess we can talk about it right now. So yeah, it looks like, yeah, I wonder what they actually made that out of. It looks like it would have to be some sort of like a tough plastic material, and especially with the hashtags sitting on there. I mean, also it could be secured onto the wall as well, so that is another way that it could be that sturdy, because it's very thin. It's a very thin material. I mean, you can't even see this part right here just because of how thin it is and how perfectly lined up it is with the camera. But this is also another great example of how you can actually see Mina here. She's holding on to this piece, which is very much three-dimensional. You can see it has little insides and whatnot. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that is wood. Here we go. So this is the one that I mentioned in the other video. This actually is the same studio, I should say, not the same set, the same studio where they filmed a whole bunch of their other videos. And you can tell particularly because of all the circular structures that are going on here. A lot of them get repurposed, reused, and just cleaned and made different in order to fit whatever video that they're making. I should say redressed. So like the big circle here up top, it's been metallic-y looking in the past. This time they have a very colorful pattern onto it as well. And then they have the fabric going over the top where light can shine through. They also made a really cool diamond piece here in the middle where it looks like for the most part they made the structure out of probably a light metal, like aluminum, and then just filled up those panels with probably plexiglass. You know, but yeah, still we've seen this circle structure here before. It's really well lit, which is awesome. It's got those neon lights as well, and yeah, it's a really cool piece here. And then on top of it too, she who's this? Sana's right up here. She's sitting on top of this really cool gift. And it's another thing, again, not too difficult to build. You build up a regular square, and then you kind of build up the different stages. You secure them together, make sure that they're not going to slide and move around, and then that they're strong structurally as well so that she can be up there and she'll be safe. In the back, they probably have a little set of stairs or a ladder or something that she can climb up and down with as well. And then you'll also notice that there's a bunch of little like palm trees here. All that stuff is rentable. And then, of course, they have sand down at the very bottom as well, which I've talked about in the past. You can easily rent sand. However, it is a nightmare to clean up. So anytime that I'm working on a set and they're like, yeah, we're going to be using sand, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a nightmare. This is going to be a really long cleanup. So here is just another look at that same set. It's just this time it's lit differently. It's supposed to look like it's daytime rather than like a nighttime shot. Obviously, they got rid of the gift that Sana was sitting on top of, and the girls are now standing where that was. It also looks like they cleared out the sand so the girls didn't have to be in the sand getting all sandy and whatnot, which is nice, especially because they have to dance. And, you know, when you're kicking your feet around and stuff, it makes dust, and nobody likes that. But while it is light out, it's actually a lot easier to see the kind of framework that I was talking about that they probably made out of aluminum. Or some other sort of light metal. I believe it's aluminum. If I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember the exact metal, but it's something light like aluminum that you can use, and you just can secure all the different pieces together, and it'll hold and be strong enough to be able to hold the plexiglass that's being used in there as well. And then I think they have lights coming in from the top, but they also animated in some different things floating around in there, like it's a almost like a lava lamp or something like that. But still, it's just a really cool set. So this shot is really cool of Chewie here. This is actually that same room that we were talking about earlier on in the very beginning of the video. This time, though, however, they actually kind of replicate a little bit of what's going on here in the back with that like amoeba type cutout that I was talking about, and you can see that they did it again here, but this time it's a closer piece that's probably freestanding but just closer to the camera so that she can be standing there and it looks like she's looking through possibly another hole in a wall that would be that fourth wall, and more interacting with us, you know. So another little fun thing that I'm noticing that they did is they actually just took the same room and redressed it in order to have different rooms for each of the girls to be in. So this one, they just changed the lights to look more blue. This was that orange room that we were talking about before. You can notice that the carpet's the same. They just added a little bit more gifts here. Then they also moved some furniture around, making it a little bit more blue. And then they also added some greens in there as well, just to kind of differentiate it a little bit. But that's that same back window that we were looking at before. I actually didn't realize it was a window, but now I'm seeing it is. But yeah, it's cool. It's the same. It's actually the same room that's just repurposed and just changed a little bit with the lighting. So it's cool to see how much different a room can be when you just change a few little things, you know? Just change out a few different props, then change the lighting, and bada boom, bada bang, you think you're in a whole different space. But you can actually see this is that graded metal that we were talking about before as well. I will say I'm not 100% sure where this like porthole is. However, it's a simple circular cut into a flat that you just put like the little bit of plastic around the edge here to make it look more like a porthole, but it looks like it's just looking into that room. Actually, I think this is actually the same room we were just looking at, the blue room, but there was that little red side. So I'm imagining if we were to go back, you'd be on the left side looking through the wall over towards that little couch area that was red. So yeah, I mean, real quick, if you can see, I'm pretty sure that's what the background was that we're looking at. And I think they had the curtains hanging on up here as well. So interesting little things here, you know. I will say this is another one of the very interesting ones, because this one, they're very obviously outside. However, what on earth is this red building? I can't tell if this is something that they just constructed for this video or if this is the genuine outside of a building, possibly on a set that a studio lot that they're filming at, perhaps, because sometimes they have that kind of stuff. I mean, otherwise you could build like a rounded facade for a building, but other than that, they probably just rented this Vespa scooter thing. Nice pink scooter, and yeah, nice outdoor shot here too, you know. Oh, and it matches Jiho's is it, oh, shoot, I always feel like I pronounce her name wrong. Jiho. Well, sorry. Matches her outfit with the pink, just saying. That's another thing you want to be looking for with art as well. And I think somebody asked me about it a long time ago, but typically like the production designer will talk with the wardrobe and hair and makeup prior to anything happening. So there will be a general idea of what color schemes we're going to be going for the whole thing. So this is another cool little feature that they have here. This is that same gift that Sana right here, she was sitting on top of earlier, but this time now balloons, all these heart balloons are floating out. You can get balloons like that in a lot of different places. You can get them at Party Cities. You can get them at a lot of places. So some poor PA probably had to go to one of these stores and say, hey, I need like 30 balloons all inflated and then stuff them into a van and drive to set with them so that they could shoot this shot. Simple enough, but you know, it's cool. It's a cool little feature. Plus it looks nice. Oh, okay. I see what's going on here. So they built up this like shopping bag that Daeon is like hiding inside of, and then she pushes over all those red boxes, probably just small little red cardboard boxes that you know, don't weigh much or anything, but they made those cute little hearts on them as well, and she kicks through them. But the impressive thing here is the fact that they built this big shopping bag that looks like it has doors that possibly would close, and then like make it look like an actual bag when it's closed. But yeah, also if you're noticing the background here, I think this is that red doorway we saw with Chiho before when she was on the scooter. I believe that's it. So they probably built that as well. For the most part, again, the actual structure of the box here is not that difficult to build. However, the one thing is that they're going to have tapering sides going upwards, so it's going to look more like a I forgot what the shape is. I wanted to say parallelogram, but that's not it. Why can't I remember what it is? Either way, it's one where it's like it goes up. You can see it. Stop doing this. But yeah, it's obviously you're going to cut them up at an angle here to attach at the top. However, I'm curious how the doors worked, because you don't actually see them open during the video here. Like as you can see, they're already open when Daeon is kind of pushing through the boxes. Oh no, they do open. Excuse me. They do open. She pushes the whole thing open. Bada boom, bada bing. Get those boxes out of my face. Okay. Yeah, just simple doors on hinges. You can actually see the hinges right here and here. Still, I will say too, the graphics that they put onto here as well are very, very nicely done. It looks like they're probably painted, but they very well could be stickers that you just stuck onto it to make it look good. I mean, obviously they painted it pink, a very light pink, and then it has all the writing on it as well, which is pretty sick. We got twice and once, right? Is that what it says right there? Once, yep. But still, very, very cool build. And then on top of it too, I wonder exactly what they use for the strings at the top there. Most likely it would be some sort of rubber piping, and yeah, just spray painted silver or white or whatever color they used up there. But it's just strapped onto the very top of the bag so it hoops up and it won't really droop. Man, I will say this. I really don't understand what that thing is up top here. I genuinely have no idea what that is. So here we have another very different room. However, it's got that same similar white with like speckled, different colored blotches all over the place that they had in that very beginning room. But this time they got a whole bunch of different gifts here. The camera is set down low to make it look like the gifts are even bigger, and they look a little bit bigger even though they're kind of farther back in the shot, but as they get closer they'll look bigger as well. And yeah, it's also funny too, they lit it up with Christmas lights as well. Or some people will just call them string lights. But yeah, it's really simple. You just get a bunch of different cardboard boxes and get them different sizes. You make them into whatever you need. A lot of the times they'll just be stuff that like you bought for the shoot. that came in boxes, and you just use those boxes, wrap them up so that you can save those boxes. And then a lot of the times they return stuff, so they just unwrap those gifts at the end of it, put the stuff back in it, and return it. Just saying. So this shot here, I have no idea where they are for this one. Obviously, very white wall here in the back. I want to say they use some sort of like fisheye lens, like a slight in-depth, or else the walls are just kind of curved, you know? But again, they're using a lot of those same white props that you've seen around in the music video. The white tennis racket, they have a little thing, the bulldozer, the horn. Obviously, they got a hashtag here as well. She's got a little paint palette. And then you got these red boxes with hearts that you've seen tons of times in the video. It's a great reuse of different items in just a different location, a different angle, and it adds to the whole thing looking different. Obviously, they got a red table here as well. I will say I don't know what part of the set this is on, so that does throw me a little bit. Now, this one is a very, very, very cool little setup they got going here. Obviously, there's a lot of effects that are going on in this shot. However, Mina is actually inside of a little boat here. And it's another thing that it seems very random, but you could totally get at a prop house a boat like this. If it wasn't already white, you could also pay a little extra to be able to paint it white as well and kind of repurpose it a bit. And then they put a whole bunch of different fabrics in here. It's that kind of transparent fabric as well, and then I believe they put a bunch of different like little balloons and stuff to add color in underneath the fabric as well. And then I believe there's also some lights under here as well, also kind of illuminating. And I wouldn't be surprised if right under that kind of transparent fabric, if they had some sort of like white cotton, kind of like a snow blanket type of a deal, where people would put it out to make it look like there's snow on the ground or on trees or whatever, like that whole big cotton type of a thing, because it also does look a little cloudy underneath as well. But this is also on the location where the big circle room is. You can see the sand and the palm trees as well. I'm not exactly sure what exactly is next to the boat, just simply because it's got a very wavy effect on it, so it's kind of hard to tell. Plus, there's no behind the scenes of this yet because it's a new video, so I have no idea exactly what that is. All right, and then also inside of the studio, they had another one of those big circular stages that is on a motor, so that it'll kind of slowly spin around. And they obviously decked it out with like a lot of very shiny confetti, a lot of bright different things. They even put symbols from like a drum set on there as well. Bunch of different gifts as well. All sorts of party related themed things. They got the smoke machines running as well while she is spinning, and they pan in on her. Sana laying down here as well. I believe this is probably also inside of the same stage that has all the circular pieces in it. But yeah, I mean, this definitely goes with the party celebration theme. Then another cool little thing that they did with that main room, that very first room, is they brought in those green gifts, and they just have them here, and they put a light in the middle as well. It's another thing of just a very smart usage of props, where they used the same props, different locations. It adds a different effect to each room, and it's just cool. It just looks really good, especially with like the darkness and how they all kind of come into the light as well. It's a very cool aesthetic. So now this very last location that we see them at, I have no idea where they are. I imagine this is somewhere on the lot that they're working on. Perhaps it's a studio space somewhere, but this is an outdoor shot here as well. I'm curious if they actually use real fireworks for this, because obviously you can see all the smoke and stuff, so they might have actually used real fireworks for this shot here. But as you can see, they dressed it up. They put those shiny hanging, I always forget what they're called. I always just call them streamers. I know that's not the right thing, but they're basically like a shiny ribboned curtain. But they hung that across the back wall there. They got lights up top that they have lit up. They lit up the different pillars here as well. It looks like this is like a pool area or something that they're using here. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure what this actual location is, so it's a little hard to tell. But either way, it makes for a very, very cool end of the video. I mean, those are like patches of sand back there, so I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. It looks like they're at some sort of vacation area. I don't know. I don't know exactly where they are. Also, this might be a stage that they're on as well. I mean, until we see the behind the scenes, you will have no idea. I think this is a mix. I think this is a mix of real fireworks, and then I think they CGI'd more fireworks in as well. Added in post, because it wants to make the sky look a little bit more full. But I think for the most part, most of these fireworks that are going off are real. It's kind of like in some other videos where there's like big fire explosions and stuff. Like there actually is a fire explosion that happens, but in post they just make it bigger and it just looks a little more crazy. You know what I mean? But still, that's a really, really great effect. Also, I really love the end of this video too, just because it has the girls just dancing at the end. Not like a choreographed dance. It's just them with each other just dancing and having a good time, like they're at a club or something like that. And I think that is a pretty awesome thing about this group, is that they're not really that afraid to be themselves. And you get a little bit of a feel for it here in this video. Like I said, it's a celebration of who they are, of who they've become. It's also a celebration of all of us fans being there with them and getting to watch this happen and being a part of the concerts and all the different music videos and everything, and getting to know who they are as individuals too. So I think it's just a really nice little touch at the very end of the video to have them just straight up enjoying themselves. All right, so that will about do it for me. Sorry, I kind of went on for a while on that one, but yeah, this is a really, really awesome video, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the girls really crushed it, and their art team really crushed it too. For a 5-year anniversary, I say they really knocked it out of the park. So guys, if you enjoyed this, if you learned anything, please go ahead and sub to the channel so we can keep growing. Like the video as well. And then, check out all the other links that we have down below, as well as our Twitch. And, guys, we will see you on the next one. I love you. Stay aggressively positive. Have a wonderful week. Bye!